Well, it was few days ago when Shehbaz Sharif in Pakistan jumped up and offered their services to play the role of the so-called mediator between Iran and US and Israel. But it looks like together, when it comes to their plan to whitewash their own reputation as a terror state at a global stage, seems to have completely been failed, because Tehran has now made it clear that any forums being hosted by Pakistan are its own initiative and they do not represent Iran's position. Now, with a foreign ministry spokesperson coming out to say of Iran, stating that Iran has not participated in any Pakistan-led engagements. Now, the strong response underscores the widening disconnect, even as Pakistan attempts to position itself as a so-called mediator in the escalating regional conflict. Let's tell you exactly who actually attended the so-called peace summit that happened in Islamabad and what the guest list really looked like. Because representing Riyadh was Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud, while Hakan Fidan from Turkey attended this meeting. And also, as far as a representative from Cairo was there, forming this very core of this visiting delegation. But however, on part of Iran, it seems to have completely rejected any call for any dialogue or talks that seems to be happening with the United States of America, saying that at the onset of this war, talks have been suspended, no direct talks have happened, only talks via intermediaries. Now, who are those intermediaries? That has not been made clear, where Pakistan seems to put and position itself as a self-styled mediator. But America's proposal itself has been rejected by Iran, calling it illogical, excessive and unreasonable. And this is where Iran has been positioning itself, saying that we will not change our stand. So what is exactly Pakistan doing, Srinjoy? What is the role that they seem to be now leading with? Because negotiations taking place or not, and for whom is actually Pakistan negotiating?
It all began when President Trump called the Pakistani general, Asim Munir, and had a chat with him. And then, of course, 3 or 4 other countries have got involved. Pakistan, Turkey, Egypt, and so on. The point was to find an intermediary, because the Iranians were refusing to speak directly with America. I mean, that possibility was not there. So the idea was to try and find a solution to the war via either Pakistan, Iran, Turkey, Egypt, or all 3 of them, which is why these talks have gone on and there have been conversations. But clearly, as of now, we don't see a solution, because whatever has been suggested to the intermediaries have not been acceptable to the Iranians. The Iranians have said, and you've said this as well.
Well, this is something that the US has also not accepted or even acknowledged the role of these countries playing the so-called role of a mediator. Well, outright rejection coming in from Iran's way, then what has Pakistan really been up to remains to be seen, as far as what theory that day seems to be floating this time around. Thank you very much, Srinjoy, for joining in. We just have to head into a very short break, back with the latest headlines.